Hello everybody, 'tis the Amazing Gaming Guy here, and welcome back to the Medieval Castle, or I'm not so sure I should be calling it a Medieval Castle, because as you'll see throughout this video, it turns into more of a Renaissance style building. It's very academic looking, so maybe this should be a university build or something, but I'm going to carry on calling it a Medieval Castle because it's got a nice little ring to it. So this week we are starting off where we left off last week with this sort of facade to the main hall, and I've just gone up and I've copied that across with World Edit to extend it a little bit. It'll be bigger than this. It's going to go further down to the right as well, but I just wanted to go along and get an idea of the scale and how things would look, and I started by doing the roof, and I'm building that up, and it's sort of a twice high roof, if you know what I mean. So it's like it's a step, then a block, then a step, then a block, rather than just step, because I didn't want it to be too shallow, so you can see it's actually quite a tall roof. And one of the things I'm using to get inspiration from this is actually Hogwarts, because that is, technically, it's a castle, that's what they say, it's Hogwarts Castle, but it's not very sort of medieval looking, so that's sort of what I'm taking a little bit of inspiration from. Not a huge amount, but a little bit. Now, I began on the dome on the top of this main hall, or I'll call it the Great Hall, get all Hogwartsy with it. I began on the dome on the Great Hall, and I wanted to use some different materials here, so I've got some sandstone bricks, and I'm building it up with, I think that's lime-stained clay, because I wanted it to look like a sort of a copper roof that has been weathered over the years, and you know, copper sort of oxidizes and goes green, so I thought that might be quite a good colour for it, and I think it looks quite good. And I did later go in and sort of hollow out the bottom so you can see right up into the cone or the dome from underneath. Oh, it's looking nice, isn't it? I went in and put some windows into the roof, just to get a little bit of light down into the main hall. And then I went on to the left, and I just started to build up this side of this. And I wanted it to be quite open, this building, with nice tall windows. So that's what I did. I inset it one against the stone bricks to give it a bit of depth. And then I made some big tall windows out of just regular glass panes. And that's the view from inside the Great Hall, looking up at the dome. And there's some nice streaks of light coming through the windows. It's going to be really nice when this building's finished, I think. Really quite grand. Now I've moved on to, I don't really know what to call this part of the building. It's just sort of an addition to the Great Hall, and it is purposefully off-center, by the way, so don't, get angry about that. It's meant to be slightly off-center. This whole thing is meant to be a little bit sort of cobbled together, I guess. So there's the big main hall, and then there's this bit on the side stuck on, there'll be a bit on the back stuck on. It's meant to be quite a sort of organic feeling building. It's not so strictly rigid. Now, again, I wanted to make these tall windows, and something I'd heard about recently, I think it was on a live stream for the Planet Coaster game at Gamescom. Somebody was talking about how in theme parks, if they've got windows and floors and things, they'll make the upper floors of a building actually smaller in height, so that it's a sort of a forced perspective technique, so it looks like the building's much taller than it is. So I thought I'd give that a little try here. So I made the sort of gaps between the windows much smaller as you go further up the building, and I don't know if it actually works, because the whole scale of everything else doesn't change, like the shape, the size of the blocks and things. But I thought it was an interesting thing to try, and even if it doesn't work, it's a nice little pattern. And speaking of patterns, I wanted to bring the sort of walkway pattern around the side of this area as well. So I did that, and I brought it all the way around, and it's just got this sort of little divider separating the top and bottom halves of this side of the building. And oh, look, it's snowing. I love snow. It's a shame it doesn't snow on the slab blocks there. It just looks all wet and sludgy, but there you go. So, yep, this is the roof of that section, and I didn't want to build a sort of domed or dormer roof here. I just wanted it nice and flat, just to, separate it from the main building. And then I went around with some banners, and I've never used banners in a build before. This is the first time ever. And I really like them. I went around with some red and black banners, and I thought that would be a good colour scheme for this castle. It would be the sort of sigil or the main colours of the house. Going a bit Game of Thrones there. House Stark. That's like green and silver or something. Anyway, I went onto the back of the building and started building another one of these sort of appendages as sort of add-on bits. And this would just be a little bit at the back, and it goes into the courtyard around the side, which is marked out by that green wool there. And I wanted to put in some coloured windows on this one as well, so there's some red stained glass there, which I haven't used anywhere else in the build. Okay guys, that's just about it for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please do like, comment and subscribe. It would be amazing if you could do that. And I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.